Okay, all right. I'm putting this out. This is very impromptu. I'm gonna go live and answer any questions anybody else has. This is the first time I'm doing it, so I have no idea how this works, how I see messages, or if people can communicate with me directly. So, um, anyway, I'll keep this up for a few minutes and see if anything happens. But anyway, hit me with your questions and I'll have the answers. All right. I'll just wait here looking crazy for a few minutes. Or I'll work on my computer while I'll see if anybody has any questions. All right. Nope, nobody's here. um, but if anybody has any questions about driving, about the road test, how to do this, how to do that, if you have any problems, um, um, yeah, if you're having problems with parking or you're having problems with turns, any particular thing, just let me know and hit me on a message and I'll respond. I'm in Brooklyn. Okay. How do I overcome anxiety? I get so nervous. I failed my test twice. Okay. Well, there's no easy trick to avoid anxiety. The best thing to do if you get very anxious when you're taking your road test is get so good at everything that when you get nervous, um, it won't affect you as much. So, because what happens is when you get nervous, you tend to forget things. You tend to forget different. Hi, are you a blind piano player? Piano player? Yes, I actually do play the piano, but no, I'm not blind. That's my Stevie Wonder impersonation. Anyway, going back to the going back to the getting nervous. Yeah, so if you're getting nervous while when you're taking your road test, um, if you get nervous when you're taking your road test, um, yeah, the best thing you could do is just practice everything, get as good at with everything as possible. Um, make everything second nature. You want everything to be to the point where you don't have to think about it. Parallel parking, you should be able to do that without thinking. Turns, you should be able to do that without thinking. Broken U-turn, you should be able to do that without thinking. Everything you need to do, try to get as good as possible with that. So that way, when you do get nervous, it's already inside you in a second nature, and you're more likely to do it correctly, even if you're nervous. Other things you could do, other things I've had people do at the road test, exercise. Maybe bring a jump rope. I've had people jump rope. I've had guys do push-ups right before the test. Anything to take your mind off of um, the actual test. Because while you're online and you're waiting there, you start getting nervous, and then you see everybody else taking the test, and you just get more and more nervous as you're waiting um, to take the test. So if you do things to keep your mind off of it, it'll help. And believe it or not, it sounds crazy, but a lot of people tell me that the exercise right before they take the test works. Jumping rope, jumping jacks, or doing a few push-ups or whatever, it helps. So, but it's just something that takes your mind off of it. Some people, some instructors have a lot of jokes with people and keep you laughing and whatever. But those things help. Let's see if I go back. Can you play anything for us? I actually do have a piano right over there, but I'm not that good at playing the piano anymore. So, I'll save that for another video. And if you want to see my eyes, some people said my eyes. Yes. Oh, okay. So I'm not blind. I'm not blind. I'm going blind, but I'm not. I'm not blind yet. How long have you been driving? Well, I've been teaching just as long as almost as long as I've been driving. Um, I started, I think probably got my license around 17 to 18, and I started teaching, like a year after that. I barely had my license, and I started teaching people how to get their license. Um, so that's about 30 years right now. So you're looking at somebody that has 30 years of driving, 30 years of teaching people how to drive. Yes, I'm in New York. Yeah, it's never good when somebody's cursing at you. uh, when you're driving, that's not usually a good thing. Unless you have a really strong I don't know what the right word I'm looking for, but uh, but that's usually not good. Um, Thinking other mistakes. Yes, yes, I'm licensed with the DMV, and been that way for for 30 years. So, I'm legit. I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Crown Heights. I'm on Troy Avenue, between Eastern Parkway and Union. Ha! Have I ever had any super hot students? Okay, well, that's a funny question. But just like anything, there's super hot people in the world. Super hot people come into every business. They go to the supermarket, they go to the movies. So yes, I've probably had a few super hot students in my lifetime. Yes, that's a yes, Pat. Have I seen other YouTubers who are driving instructors as well? Not many. I have seen a couple of parallel parking videos. I have watched a few videos where, uh, people talk about how what you need to bring to the road test and things like that. But I haven't watched many other um, driving instructor videos. Okay, yes. Good luck, Shay. Don't give up. Uh, I've seen people fail the road test multiple times. I had one student that she came to me. She said she failed the road test like 10 times. Um, um, and and a lot of people would say, "Damn, 10 times. That's a lot." Which is a lot. But what I said is the one good thing you can take away from that person that took the road test 10 times and finally passed is that they never gave up. Don't give up. If you know you can do it, keep at it, keep going at it. Sometimes people give up too soon. I know it's frustrating to fail, but if you know it's in you to drive, and I'm of the opinion that pretty much anybody could drive. Um, Most people, but then you don't give up. Just because you fail a road test or you get discouraged a little bit, shake it off, get some more practice, come back again. Pat. I bet the hot ones were the worst drivers. Not really. I mean, just because somebody's hot doesn't mean they're a bad driver. Everybody's pretty much the same. Everybody has their own level of learning. Um, some people are better or quicker at learning than others. Oh, another driving instructor in the Bronx. Okay, cool. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. It's hard to find a good instructor that so if you find one, you know, rock with them, nobody's perfect as an instructor. But if they're good at what they do, rock with the person, and I'm in Brooklyn, so being that he's in the Bronx, that's good. Because we're probably not getting the same customers. But one man can only teach. I can only teach so many people. So maybe me and that guy, I'll look up that guy. Maybe we could collaborate on something at some point. A nervous driving instructor. If you're nervous as a driving instructor, that's probably not the job for you. It's probably not. Find another job if you're nervous as a driving instructor. And I've heard that a lot. I've heard a lot of driving instructors, are very nervous when they're driving, and they ride the brakes, or they're very jumpy. That can happen. Um, uh, and that, who knows, that's hard to get over. They just have to. I don't know. They just have to, either that's just their personality, or maybe they're not trained properly. More than likely that if somebody's nervous like that, it's probably somebody that's a relatively new driving instructor. Um, and if they're not relatively new, that's just how they are. They just don't want you to crash the car. Me, I'm pretty calm. I'll lay back like this. You might think I'm even sleeping. But I'm always paying attention and I'm always ready. He said, I was calmly around another car and braking, and he would say my heart nearly went through the roof on that one. Yeah, yeah, he might need to, maybe that's not the right job for him. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's better now. Maybe he got better over time. So I don't know. Driving lessons by Big Mac Sam. All right, I might check that out. Yes, thank God you got your license, Pat. Oh yes, yes. The driving sheets that the road test thing. I'll probably I might throw that up here at some point. Yeah, I've been putting that paper out since for years. I might have been the first person to actually in my 5 hour class have that list of the things that they test you on the road test. I've had that probably you know 20 years. I've been using that paper in my 5 hour class. Why is parallel parking so difficult? Well, parallel parking is difficult because uh, most people don't understand the relationship between the steering wheel, their tires, and the position of their actual vehicle. All right. Once you start to understand those things, the relationship between those things, then parallel parking becomes very easy, actually. You do also have to have judgment too. So that's another thing is having judgment as far as how much space you have, how close you are to the curb, what angle you need to come into the parking spot on, or with. But but the main thing that makes parallel parking difficult is that most people don't understand how the relationship between all of those things. So what you have is, and sometimes it's hard to explain to people how to parallel park properly. So that's why you have, all these different methods on YouTube. One guy will say do this, one guy will say do that. They're all basically the same. Um, the concept behind them are all basically the same, but the basic concept is the thing that most people get confused with. The number one thing is most people think you need to do the opposite thing when you're parallel parking, but you need to do the same. So when you're parallel parking, think in terms of what you want the back of the car to do. So if you're in reverse, always think about which direction you want the back of your car to go, and you turn the steering wheel in the same direction you want the back of your car to go, not the opposite. So if you want the back, you look behind you. You want the back of your car to go to the right. Turn your steering wheel to the right, and turn it enough so that you see the back of the car is going where you want it to go. If your back is in enough and you want the back of your car to turn out or away from the curb, then turn the wheel away from the curb. That straightens you out. Most people are so focused on the front of the car that they start to get confused, and that's one of the things that makes um, parallel parking um, difficult, among a few other things. But that's the main thing. Now my screen is blurry. Why? I don't know. Pat. Oh, he said he was a wimp. He told me he was scared to drive downtown. Okay. Well, shoot, I'm not. Downtown is crazy. I mean, downtown anywhere is pretty crazy with the traffic. Downtown Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan. Well, all of Manhattan is crazy to learn to drive in. I've done it. I've done it before, but and you could be done, and I'm not scared to do it. It's just that for a new driver to drive in heavy traffic can be tricky. Because all the other cars are not happy to see you there. Yes, Lock Queen. Yes. Um, Parallel parking actually, once you understand the concept behind parallel parking, how to maneuver the car, how to turn the wheel, it's actually pretty easy. And that's why you see some people can fit in really tight spaces and can whip the car into the spot with ease. And that's why you see some people who struggle with it even though they have their license for years and years and years. After they have their license, they struggle with it, because they never really understand the concept behind parallel parking. If you just learn the steps that you see on YouTube, most of those things won't work in a real life situation, especially in New York City, where you have tight parking spaces. All right. So in order to get into a tight parking space consistently, it's best if you understand the concept of how to maneuver your car. And when you learn a set of steps, and you don't understand those steps, then parallel parking can be difficult um, in a real life situation. But those steps can work well for the road test. All right. Um, wow, Pat. At least you got your license, despite that guy. Driving lessons by BMS. Oh, is this the hey BMS? Is this are you the guy from The Bronx, driving instructor from the Bronx. All right, cool, cool, cool. I have to check out your channel one day, probably later today. Fellow African from Morocco. Okay, all the way from Morocco. All right, that's cool. Uh, somebody, shouted you out. Somebody shouted you out. BMS. They said you're from the Bronx. Said you have a YouTube channel also. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. How long you been doing the YouTube thing? Okay, okay, that's cool. Um, Why is it taking so long to get a road test in Brooklyn? Well, it's always been roughly 4 to 6 weeks. Um, but there are places that specialize in getting early road test dates for you. You could check them out. Just Google it online. Um, you could also try to do it yourself if you just keep checking every day, consistently throughout the day. Sometimes things will pop up, for a week, 2 weeks, or whatever. But when they pop up, they go very quickly. Sometimes I can get them also. Uh, but there are ways to get earlier dates. You just may have to pay a little bit extra for them if you don't have the time to look for them for yourself. Do you do you think all Africans are blacks? This is a driving show, so I don't know. That sounds like kind of a deep, deep question. Out of the scope of the driving thing. But I'd have to think about that, but off the top of my head, I would probably say that all Africans are probably not black, but I reserve the right to change that statement at some point in the future. Yes, definitely out of the scope, Big Mac. Well, I'm doing a video on my phone, but I'm doing some other work on my computer off to the side. Got to fly in here. Get out of here. Okay, cool, Lock Queen. Good luck. Um, hopefully you pass. If you oh yeah, it's in Red Hook. Okay, if you need help with anything, you need some lessons or whatever, let me know. Look me up, and I can help you out. All right, let me know. If not, good luck. Well, this was pretty fun. I think I'm gonna log off too and end this. But this was cool. I'm gonna do it again. Don't know when, but I will do it again. Probably on some type of regular basis. All right. So glad you guys had some questions. Glad I was able to answer some of them. All right. So anything else? Shoot me a comment. Hit me on a message. All right. Good luck. How do I end this?